The galaxy was never quiet. Ships moved between stars like birds crossing oceans. Great empires sent messages across light years every second. Space was alive with voices, warnings, trade agreements, orders, and song from distant worlds. But then, something strange happened. A silence spread. At first, it was only a pause in the usual chaos. Then, slowly, more and more stations stopped transmitting. Receivers turned their attention to one single place, one single point in the dark universe. It was not a supernova. It was not a new weapon. It was not even a war. It was a signal from a small blue planet, hidden in the arms of an ordinary galaxy, a planet most civilizations ignored, a planet called Earth. The first listeners thought it was noise, just static born from an inexperienced world. But as the waves cleared, the sound grew sharper. And then the galaxy heard it. It was a voice, not mechanical, not digital, not robotic. It was alive. It carried breath, tone, and something else, something none of them expected. It carried emotion. The voice was not begging, not demanding, not bargaining. It was simply speaking. Speaking of life, of fear, of struggle, of love, and of hope. The words themselves were not advanced, not full of codes or secrets. But the way they were spoken, that was what froze the galaxy. Alien minds, trained in logic and strategy, could not explain why their hearts reacted. Why did their eyes widen? Why did they feel something move inside them? The message felt human, and that was new. Inside the great chambers of the Galactic Council, the leaders of hundreds of species gathered. These were beings of different shapes and sizes, giants of fire, creatures of crystal, beings of water, and shadows wrapped in light. They had ruled the stars for ages. But now, they all leaned forward, listening again. The council speaker, a tall creature made of glowing threads, repeated the words slowly. His voice echoed across the chamber. "This is not technology," he said. "This is something else." Some of the aliens laughed. "It is nothing," they said, "just the noise of a young species." Others shook their heads. "No," they whispered, "noise does not make me feel. This makes me feel." And that was a mystery. The galaxy had heard thousands of languages, millions of signals, but never before had a simple voice carried such weight. Never before had words sounded like weapons and healing in the same breath. On the blue planet below, humanity had no idea what they had done. The people who sent the message were not warriors, not kings, not emperors. They were ordinary men and women, scientists testing a transmitter, students reading lines of hope, children laughing into the microphone. They thought no one would ever hear them. But far beyond the sky, entire civilizations were listening. Empires that had fought for centuries now sat in silence, wondering what these strange humans were. Races that prided themselves on wisdom felt small before the raw emotion of a single voice. The oldest member of the council, a creature of stone who had lived for millennia, finally spoke. His words were heavy, slow, and filled with unease. "This is dangerous," he said, "not because of weapons, not because of armies, but because of the heart behind these words. We know how to fight ships. We know how to stop armies. But how do we fight this feeling?" No one answered. And so, for the first time in history, the galaxy was united not by war, not by trade, not even by peace. It was united by a question. Who are these humans? And why does their voice shake the stars? The signal ended. The silence returned. But it was not the same silence as before. Now, the silence was heavy. It was a silence before a storm. Because once a voice is heard, it cannot be unheard. Once a feeling is born, it cannot be killed. The galaxy had listened. Humanity had spoken. And nothing would ever be the same again. The Galactic Council chamber was a place of power. Its walls stretched higher than mountains, built from metals no human had ever seen. Stars shone through its glass ceiling, reminding all who sat there that they ruled not just planets but galaxies. Yet on this day, the rulers of the stars were not discussing war, not planning trade, not writing laws. They were discussing Earth. The voice of humanity played again. The sound was fragile, yet strong. The words were simple, yet full of meaning. Even after the transmission stopped, the echo remained in their minds. An insect-like leader from the Cathel Empire tapped his claw against a stone. "It is only noise," he hissed. "The humans are weak. They cannot even travel between stars. Why should we waste time on them?" A water being from the Oin Collective rippled in disagreement. "You are wrong. This voice, it moved me. It carried pain. It carried hope. Tell me, when was the last time we felt something from another species signal?" The insect leader sneered. "Feelings are nothing. Feelings do not win wars. Ships win wars. Weapons win wars. And humans have neither." But then, a being made of pure light spoke, its voice calm and cold. "That is why they are dangerous." The chamber fell silent. The being of light continued. "Every empire hears armies. Every empire has technology. But humans, they have something we do not. They speak with their hearts. They send emotion across the stars. If they can move us, they can unite others. And if they unite others, then their weakness becomes strength." The word strength echoed like thunder. A shadow being, older than most civilizations, leaned forward. Its voice was deep, like the rumble of collapsing mountains. "I have lived long. I have seen many young species rise. Most fight, most die. But this is different. They have touched something we thought we lost." Another leader asked, "And what is that?" The shadow being closed its many eyes. "Hope." The council chamber filled with whispers. Some agreed. Some laughed. Some feared. The insect leader struck the table with anger. "You speak of hope as if it were a weapon. These humans are nothing. Crush them now, before they spread their poison across the stars." The water being's body shimmered. "Poison or cure? Do you not feel it? This is not weakness. This is connection. Their words bind hearts. Even yours, though you deny it." The argument grew louder. Voices clashed like blades. Some wanted to ignore Earth. Some wanted to destroy it. Others wanted to watch and wait. Finally, the council speaker, glowing with threads of energy, raised his hand. Silence fell again. "We stand at a crossroad," he said. "The humans have spoken. They did not ask for power. They did not ask for war. They spoke of dreams, of pain, of love, and of hope. But those words of power, you feel it. I feel it. The galaxy feels it." His voice darkened. "And power is never ignored." The chamber shivered. Everyone knew he was right. The council made a choice. They would not destroy Earth. Not yet. They would not welcome it either. Instead, they would observe, watch the humans closely, learn who they were, decide if they were a threat or a promise. But outside the council chamber, rumors spread like wildfire. Soldiers, merchants, scientists all whispered about the strange human voice. Some feared it, some were curious, and some, in secret, began to dream. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy was not united by war or fear, but by curiosity about one small planet. Far away, on Earth, humanity lived in ignorance. People woke up, went to work, argued, loved, and dreamed. They did not know that alien eyes were watching. They did not know that alien hearts were shaken. And above them, across the endless dark, the council had started its silent watch. The day humanity spoke had already changed everything, and the galaxy was listening more closely than ever. The decision of the council spread like invisible fire across the stars. Earth would not be attacked. Earth would not be welcomed. Earth would be watched. And so, hidden eyes turned toward the small blue planet. From the shadows of space, fleets of silent ships moved closer. They carried no banners, no flags, no sound. They only watched. Their instruments recorded human voices. Their screens captured human lives, and their hearts tried to understand something they had never felt before. For the first time, the galaxy was not watching a powerful empire. It was watching farmers, children, workers, dreamers, soldiers, and poets. Humanity was exposed under a sky filled with unseen eyes. On a cold night in a small city, a human child looked at the stars. He pointed up, smiling at the blinking lights. His parents laughed softly, thinking their son was dreaming of rockets. But far above, in a hidden ship, alien eyes watched that same child. The alien was tall and insect-like, its skin covered in plates of silver. It had never smiled. It had never understood what joy was. Yet when it saw the child's bright face, something inside its chest shifted. The insect being turned away, unsettled. Strange creatures, it whispered. Why do they look at the stars as if the stars belong to them? On the other side of the planet, in a crowded hospital, a doctor held the hand of an old man. The old man's breath was weak, but his eyes shone with peace. "Do not be afraid," the doctor whispered. "You lived well. You gave love. That is enough." The old man smiled and closed his eyes forever. And above, in another ship, a liquid being of the awing collective rippled with confusion. To it, death was a technical matter, nothing more than cells ending. But hey, in this room, death was not an ending. It was surrounded by love. The alien found itself trembling. "They feared death," it murmured, "yet they face it with courage. They are not like us." In another place, soldiers trained in muddy fields, shouting commands, pushing their bodies to the limit. They fought not just for themselves, but for something larger, something unseen. In orbit above, a council observer made of light whispered to itself, "They are weak, yet they fight with a fire that burns beyond their strength. This is what makes them dangerous. This is why their voice shook us." Across Earth, the watchers kept watching. They saw humans love. They saw humans suffer. They saw humans laugh in hunger and cry in victory. And the question inside them grew stronger. What are these creatures? Some began to fear more. If humanity could touch hearts without even trying, what would happen if they learned to aim that power? What if their voice could not only move the council, but the entire galaxy? Others began to wonder. If such a young race could already feel so deeply, what would they become in 1,000 years? Leaders? Poets? Monsters? Or saviors? Back in the council chambers, reports flowed in. Holograms lit the great hall, showing humans in all their strange and messy beauty. A crystal being reported. They waste time on games. They run after balls. They sing songs without purpose. The insect leader sneered. "Foolishness." But then a shadow being replied, "And yet their foolishness bind them together. They find joy in what we would call meaningless. Perhaps meaning is what they create, not what they discover." The chamber fell silent again. Even the proudest leaders struggled to explain humans. But not all aliens wanted to study in silence. Far from the council's eyes, whispers spread in hidden corners of the galaxy. Smugglers, wanderers, and rebels began to dream of Earth. They said, "If the humans can move the hearts of the mighty, then maybe they can move ours too." Some wanted to help humanity. Others wanted to use them. A few wanted to destroy them before they grew too powerful. Seeds of conflict were already planted. Meanwhile, Earth lived on, unaware of the storm building beyond its sky. Children played. Lovers walked hand in hand. Workers argued. Poets wrote. Soldiers trained. Mothers sang lullabies. All the while, the galaxy listened. The day humanity spoke had become more than just a signal. It had become a mirror. The aliens looked at humans and, for the first time in centuries, saw something missing in themselves. And in that discovery, fear and wonder grew side by side. The silence before the storm was breaking. The storm itself was on its way. The council had watched. They had listened. And now, silence was no longer enough. Inside the great chamber, the leaders gathered once again. The air trembled with tension. Reports had been flooding in for weeks. Humans laughing, humans grieving, humans fighting, humans forgiving. Each report carried something the galaxy had long forgotten, raw feeling. The speaker of light stood in the center, glowing brighter than ever. His voice echoed across the vast chamber. "We have seen enough," he said. "The humans are not machines of war, yet they are not harmless. Their strength is hidden inside their hearts. If left alone, they will grow. If ignored, they may one day lead. The question remains, what do we do with them?" An insect leader clicked his claws loudly. "Destroy them before they rise. Burn the seed before the tree grows." The water being rippled with protest. "No, destroying them will not end what has already begun. Their voice has touched us. You cannot erase what is already inside our hearts." The shadow being spoke slowly, like stone grinding against stone. If we kill them, their memory will remain. If we let them grow, their future will remain. Either way, humanity will remain. The chamber buzzed with conflict. Some wanted destruction. Some wanted protection. Others wanted silence. Finally, the oldest council member, the creature of stone, raised his heavy hand. His voice rumbled through the chamber. There is another path. Do not destroy. Do not welcome. Test them. Test, the others asked. The stone creature nodded. Yes. Send an envoy. Make contact in secret. See how they respond to the unknown. A young species reveals itself not in words, but in choices. Let us see who they truly are. The chamber fell quiet. The idea was dangerous, but it was also wise. And so, the decision was made. The first move toward humanity would not be war. It would be contact. Far above Earth, hidden among the stars, a ship detached from the Council fleet. Sleek and silent, it carried a small group chosen to observe not from afar, but up close. The crew was made of different races. The insect warrior, sharp and suspicious. The water being, calm but curious. The shadow being, old and heavy with caution. And the envoy of light, chosen to speak if needed. They did not agree with each other, but they shared one mission, to see humanity face to face. Meanwhile, on Earth, life moved forward without knowing what was coming. In a quiet research station near the mountains, a group of scientists gathered around their old radio dish. The equipment was weak, the signals often broken, but tonight something unusual was detected. One of the scientists frowned. "That's not our signal," she whispered. The others leaned closer. The screen flickered, filled with strange patterns. It was not static. It was not random. It was something else. "What is this?" another asked. The youngest among them felt his heart race. "It's not from Earth." They all froze. The room went silent. For the first time in history, humanity had caught the whisper of another world. Above them, in orbit, the envoy ship watched. "They have noticed us," the insect being growled. "Already they seek answers." The water being rippled with a soft laugh. "Of course. Curiosity is their nature. Did you not see the way their children look at the stars? They are always reaching." The shadow being rumbled. "Reaching can be dangerous. Sometimes those who reach too far burn." The envoy of light stood still, its glow dim but steady. And yet sometimes those who reach change everything. Back in the council chamber, the decision spread. Not every leader agreed, but none could stop it. The first contact had begun. The galaxy was stepping closer to humanity. But among the council, whispers grew darker. Not all wanted to watch. Not all wanted peace. There were those who planned in shadows, waiting for the humans to reveal themselves. On Earth, the scientists did not sleep that night. They listened to the strange signal again and again, recording every flicker, every pulse. They did not know it was a greeting. They did not know it was a test. But they felt it deep inside. We are not alone. And in that feeling, fear and wonder danced together. Above them, the envoy ship hovered in silence, preparing for the next step. The galaxy had listened. The council had spoken. And now, humanity was about to answer. The night was silent in the mountains. The old research station stood like a lonely guardian, its antennas pointed toward the endless sky. Inside, the group of human scientists was still awake. The strange signal had not left their minds. It was too ordered to be random, too alive to be machine noise. One of them, Dr. Lena, sat by the console, her eyes red from sleepless hours. "This is not natural," she whispered. Someone is trying to talk to us." Her colleague shook his head nervously. "Do you hear yourself? You are saying this is from aliens. That's impossible." But before she could answer, the lights in the room flickered. The machines buzzed. A strange hum filled the air, low and deep, like the heartbeat of the universe. The team froze. Outside, above the mountain peaks, a shadow passed across the stars. It was not a cloud. It was not a plane. It was something far larger. "Do you see that?" a young assistant shouted, rushing to the window. Above them, The envoy ship of the Council hovered silently. Its surface shimmered like liquid metal, changing shapes as if alive. No sound, no light beams, no thunder. Just quiet presence. Fear spread through the humans like fire. Some backed away. Others pressed their faces to the glass in disbelief. Dr. Lena's heart pounded, but instead of fear, she felt wonder. "They came," she whispered. "They actually came." On the ship, the alien crew watched the humans. The insect warrior hissed. "Look how they panic. Weak creatures, trembling like prey." The water being rippled softly. "And yet look closer. See the woman at the console? She does not run. She does not hide. She looks at us with awe." The shadow being's voice rumbled. "Awe is dangerous. From awe grows faith. From faith grows rebellion." The envoy of light said nothing. Its glow brightened, and slowly it reached forward. Back in the research station, the machines came alive. Symbols appeared on the screens, glowing shapes that shifted like waves. The humans gasped. "It's a message!" Dr. Lena cried. "They are trying to speak to us." Her colleague whispered in fear. We should shut it off. This could be dangerous." But she shook her head firmly. "No. If they wanted to harm us, they already could have. They want to talk." Her fingers moved across the console, sending a simple reply. A sequence of numbers. A greeting in the only language she hoped they might understand. Mathematics. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the room filled with light. Not burning, not blinding, just warm. The humans shielded their eyes, but slowly realized the light was soft, almost comforting. It poured through the glass, wrapping the room in silence. And then a figure appeared within the light. Tall, graceful, glowing like the heart of a star. Not solid, not ghost, but something in between. The envoy of light. The scientists trembled. Some fell to their knees. Others whispered prayers. But Dr. Lena stepped forward, her voice shaking but steady. "Who are you?" she asked. The figure tilted its head, its form flickering like fire. When it spoke, the sound was not words, but feeling. Yet somehow, every human in the room understood. "We listened. We heard your voice. We came." Tears filled Lena's eyes. "You heard us?" "Yes," the envoy replied. "Your words, they moved the stars." The room fell silent. The humans stared at the being, and for the first time in history, Earth was no longer alone. On the ship, the insect warrior clicked in anger. "This is a mistake. Already they bow, already they believe. They will spread like fire." The water being rippled with awe. "No, look, they are not bowing in weakness. They are standing in wonder. This is not fear. This is connection." The shadow being rumbled low. Connection is the most dangerous weapon of all. Back in the station, Dr. Lena whispered, her voice trembling. "We are small. We are weak. But if you heard us, then maybe we are not meaningless." The envoy's light shimmered, almost like a smile. "Small does not mean meaningless. Weak does not mean powerless. Your voice carries far. That is why we listen." The words filled the humans with something more powerful than fear. Hope. And in that moment, both sides, human and alien, felt the same truth. The day humanity spoke was no longer a secret. Now, humanity was being answered. The message of first contact traveled faster than any ship. Before the envoy even returned, whispers had already spread across the stars. Traders told stories. Soldiers spoke in secret. Entire empires buzzed with one shocking truth. The humans had answered. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, chaos reigned. The vast hall, normally cold and orderly, shook with noise. Leaders of hundreds of species argued at once, their voices crashing like thunder. "They are dangerous," shouted the insect warrior's delegate. "Already they kneel to the envoy's light. Already they look at us as gods. Soon they will worship, and from worship comes rebellion." "They are innocent," cried the water being's delegate. "They did not attack. They did not threaten. They only looked at us with wonder. Tell me, which empire here would not do the same?" The shadow being rumbled slowly, shaking the chamber. "They carry fire inside them. Hope is their weapon. Do not be fooled. A species that can move our hearts without ships, without armies. Such a species cannot be ignored. The speaker of light raised his hand, dimming the noise. His glow flickered with unease. You all felt it. Do not deny it. Their voices shook us. Their reply reached us. No weapons, no machines, only emotion. Ask yourselves, when was the last time words carried such power? The whole grew quiet. No one had an answer. Then, from the far corner, a new voice rose. A crystal being, sharp and shimmering, spoke with icy calm. We must decide. Do we guide them, or do we crush them? There is no middle path. The insect leaders slammed the table. Crush them, before they spread their poison across the stars. The water being rippled, refusing. Guide them, help them grow. If their fire is strong, then perhaps it can warm us instead of burning us. The shadow being lowered its head, and if it burns us all. The chamber fell into uneasy silence again. Everyone knew this was no longer about humans alone. It was about the galaxy itself. For centuries, the Council had ruled with order and control. Empires obeyed, wars were managed, peace was balanced like stone on a blade. But now, a fragile young species threatened that balance, not with fleets or weapons, but with something far more dangerous. Feeling. If humanity could move the Council, what could they do to the rest of the galaxy? The envoy crew finally returned. They stood before the Council, their report echoing through the chamber. The insect warrior's voice dripped with disdain. The humans are weak. They tremble, they fear, they kneel. They are nothing but children staring at the dark. But their eyes, his mandibles clicked uneasily. Their eyes burn. The water being rippled gently. I saw courage. I saw kindness. Even in death, they hold each other. Even in weakness, they stand. We call them children, but I wonder, perhaps they are teachers. The shadow being rumbled, its voice filled with unease. They are both, weak and strong, foolish and wise, dangerous and beautiful. I fear them because I cannot understand them. And what we do not understand, we destroy. The envoy of light stood silent for a long moment. Then its glow brightened. They asked us who we were. But the real question is not who they are, it is who we will become when we face them. Will we destroy hope, or will we let it grow? The Council erupted again. Arguments, threats, promises. Every voice clashed. No agreement could be reached. Finally, the Speaker of Light declared, "We cannot agree. Then let us delay. We will neither destroy nor guide them. For now, we will continue to watch. But know this, the day will come when humanity will not just speak. They will rise. And when that day comes, we must be ready." Beyond the chamber, rumors spread like storms. Some empires prepared fleets, fearing the rise of humanity. Others sent spies, hoping to learn from Earth. A few dreamers whispered of alliance, believing humans could awaken the galaxy. For the first time in centuries, the future felt uncertain. Meanwhile, on Earth, the scientists of the mountain station held their secret close. They did not announce it to the world. Not yet. But every night they looked at the stars, knowing someone was watching. Dr. Lena wrote quietly in her journal. They came, they spoke, and they listened. We are not alone anymore. Whatever happens next, humanity has been seen. She closed the book with trembling hands. Above, in the endless dark, countless alien eyes still watched. Some with fear, some with hope. The galaxy was no longer silent, and the storm was almost here. The galaxy was no longer the same. The voice of humanity had spread like fire across the stars. It had reached hearts that had long turned cold. It had awakened feelings buried under centuries of power and war. And now, the galaxy waited. On Earth, life seemed normal. Cars moved through crowded streets. Children played in parks, and lovers walked beneath the moon. But deep in the mountains, in the small research station, a secret burned. Dr. Lena and her team guarded the recordings of the encounter. The glowing figure, the words it spoke, the light that filled the room, it was all captured. They watched it again and again, whispering to each other, "What do we do with this?" The world outside was not ready. Nations were divided, wars still fought, and people still doubted even their own neighbors. Could humanity truly face the stars united? Lena looked at the sky each night and whispered to herself, "We must be ready. If they saw us, if they heard us, we cannot remain children forever." Far above, in the council chamber, the debate still raged. Weeks had passed, yet no agreement came. The insect leaders shouted, "They are a threat." Already whispers spread across our empires. Soldiers question orders. Citizens dream of Earth. These humans infect us with hope. Crush them before they spread further. The water being rippled with calm. Crush them, and you prove their message right. You will not silence them. You will only make them martyrs. Do you not feel it? The galaxy is already listening. Even if we destroy Earth, the echo of their voice will remain. The shadow being rumbled low. We cannot control the future, but we can choose how we face it. The humans are not only speaking. They are teaching us, reminding us of what we lost. The chamber grew heavy with silence. Then, the envoy of light stepped forward. Its glow spread across the hall, forcing every eye to turn. "They spoke once," it said, "but they will speak again. And when they do, their words will not be small. They will not reach only us. They will reach the entire galaxy." Outside the chamber, the news spread faster than law could control. Hidden broadcasts carried the human message across systems. Smugglers carried recordings. Soldiers shared whispers. Citizens of great empires sat in silence, hearing the fragile but powerful word of humanity. And for the first time in centuries, the galaxy dreamed. Back on Earth, storms of change were brewing. The scientists argued fiercely. Some wanted to reveal the truth to the world. Others feared chaos. At last, Dr. Lena stood before her team. "If the galaxy is listening," she said, her voice trembling, "then let us speak again. Let us show them who we truly are, not perfect, not united, but human." They stared at her in shock. To send another message was dangerous. It could bring war. It could bring hope. It could bring both. But slowly, one by one, they nodded. And so, under the cover of night, the old transmitter came alive once more. This time, the message was not an accident. It was not fragments of voices or laughter. It was a choice. Humanity spoke with one voice. "We are small, but we dream. We are weak, but we love. We fight, we fail, we fall, but we rise again. If you hear us, know this. We are not here to conquer the stars. We are here to join them, and we will not be silent." The words rose into the night sky, breaking free of the planet, racing into the darkness where countless ears waited. In the council chamber, the message arrived. The insect leader growled, furious. "See? They declare themselves. They will spread, they will unite, they will challenge us all." But the water being whispered, trembling, "No, listen. They do not want to rule. They only want to belong." The shadow being's deep voice shook the chamber. Perhaps that is what makes them most dangerous. And perhaps that is what makes them most needed. The envoy of light glowed brighter than ever. They have spoken again, and the galaxy has listened. The choice is no longer ours alone. The choice now belongs to all who hear them. Across the stars, species of every kind listened in silence, some with fear, some with hope, some with longing. And in that silence, the galaxy shifted. No war had been fought, no weapon had been fired, but everything had changed, because one day humanity spoke, and the galaxy listened.